Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitch Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Pokemon Journey series. Today we're going to be covering episode 131 in today's review, and it is part 3 of Ash vs. Leon. We're getting towards the end, folks. So how was this episode overall? Well, before I get into the episode review, you guys know the drill. If you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It'd be pretty awesome if you would do that. Anyways, let's talk about this episode, shall we? So Leon has 3 Pokemon left versus Ash's 4. However, Ash is still at a disadvantage, as we see pretty early on in this battle that his Pokemon have taken quite a beating. And Rillaboom pretty much makes quick work of Dragonite. Unfortunately, Dragonite gets its speed lowered by drum beating. And yeah, this just does not help Dragonite, who cannot land a single hit on Rillaboom. It just struggles and then eventually gets defeated. So that's unfortunate, but at least Dragonite got a W in the previous episode, so I'm willing to forgive it for jobbing to Rillaboom here. That, and we already know how powerful this frickin' Rillaboom is. So up next we have Sirfetch'd versus Rillaboom, and unfortunately, Sirfetch'd loses, so Sirfetch'd doesn't get anything out of this match, but he does play a crucial role, though, by hitting Rillaboom with Meteor Assault, which does a lot of damage, and it fakes out the audience into thinking that Rillaboom's been KO'd, but unfortunately it gets back up and it takes out Sirfetch'd not too long afterwards, leaving Ash now with just 2 Pokemon. Now next up we have Ash taking out Dracovish, and Dracovish is actually the one to take out Rillaboom here, which I thought was pretty nice. It struggled a little bit in the beginning, but it does Dragon Rush, and it almost simulates a Meteor Assault, kind of showing that Sirfetch'd and Dracovish have got some connections going here, going all the way back to the Clement and Bonnie episode. And it manages to take out Rillaboom. In fact, that's when Clement and Bonnie actually cameo in this episode, so I kind of thought that was a little bit of a reference there, how those 2 Pokemon bonded in that episode and made a bit of a connection there, so I don't know, I thought that was a pretty nice scene. So now it's Leon only has 2 Pokemon left now versus Ash's 2 Pokemon as well, so we're evened out again. Then we have Cinderace versus Dracovish, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because Cinderace literally wipes the floor with Dracovish. Like, absolutely takes no damage. Literally, the Cinderace has not taken any damage whatsoever in this match so far. Takes out Dracovish. Leon recalls it and takes out Charizard. And Leon is pretty much intending to finish off Ash here by Gigantamaxing Charizard and sealing his victory. Now, this is the obvious highlight of the episode. So, the first 2 Gigantamax or Dynamax moves don't take out Pikachu. One misses and the other one connects. But then the third one, seemingly being the finisher, goes up against Pikachu's Z move. And it's the best clash in the entire episode and the entire battle at this point, because it looks really clean, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. But anyways, it seems like this is actually overpowering the arena, almost to the point where it looks like it's breaking the dimensions. Maybe I'm wrong here, but it kind of reminds me of in Pokemon Legends Arceus with the sky above Mount Coronet, where it looks like the dimensions are breaking up there. Looks like the same thing's happening here. And that's when Eternatus at the end of the episode literally breaks out of its cage and goes there, leaving this episode in quite a cliffhanger as this episode comes to an end. Now before I continue on, I want to mention the cameos in this episode. So first up, I mentioned this previously, but Clement and Bonnie cameoed in this episode. And I think it was well done, just because Clement and Bonnie were present for Dracovish and Sirfetch'd's training when Ash came to Lumio City Gym. I think that was all well done. And kind of like how they worked together to defeat Dresna, they did the same thing here where Sirfetch'd, even though he jobbed, he put in his work, and Dracovish basically finished the job by taking out Rillaboom. So I thought it was a nice tie-in to not only the Dresna battle, but to Clement and Bonnie's appearance and cameo within that episode as well. So I thought that was really well done. And of course, when Ash used the Pikachunium Z Crystal and the Z move, the Lola Gang, Professor Kukui, Burnett, Lay, Samson Oak, Ashes, Alolan Pokemon, and Gladion cameoed in the episode as well, watching the episode from the Pokemon School. And that made sense. So at least we got that as well. So at this point, all we need is for Misty, Brock, May, Max, and Serena, and Silent I almost forgot about Silent again, for them to cameo as well. So we'll see if they actually make an appearance next week. I'm curious to see if that actually happens, or if any of Ash's other rivals potentially cameo as well. Maybe Go and Gary are watching it. Maybe Paul Schoen watching it. Who knows? But we only have so many cameos left, and we only have one more episode of this battle. So hopefully they make an appearance. So overall, I thought this was a fairly interesting episode. I think it was pretty solid overall. And it shows how much tension is in this battle. Ash is basically on his last stand here, because he's down to his last Pokemon at the end of this episode. Literally, Leon is pressuring him. Ash is out of gimmicks now, and Leon has 2 Pokemon, including his busted Charizard. Even though Charizard doesn't have Gigantamax anymore, he's still got a tough battle ahead of him. So I like the fact that there's a lot of tension going into the final episode in this battle here. So that's good. It means there's a lot at stake here. Now, if I had to compare this to the 3rd episode in Ash vs. Kukui, I'd say I slightly preferred that more than this. I think it was mainly because of the Torracat Incineroar clash. I feel like there's a little bit more build up to that versus Pikachu versus Charizard personally. But I don't know. It's just my preference. That and the evolution at the end kind of sealed the deal for me when it came to that episode. That was like a perfect episode to me, and that wasn't even the finale of that battle, so we're not even at the end here, so things could get better from here. We just gotta wait and see. And based on the preview, it's already looking like next week's episode is gonna look amazing, so yeah. But that's not to say that this episode didn't have some amazing looking moments. I think the main highlight here is obviously Gigantamax Charizard versus Pikachu when they were clashing with the Z move versus Charizard's final attack. And I just liked how it looked. The circling around them looked really awesome. So that was really cool. That looked almost as good as Tapu Koko versus Pikachu. Not quite as good, but still very good. It shows that Iwane's still got it, and he's delivering here. So gotta give some props over to Iwane for doing a great job with this episode, or being the animation director for this episode. So, yeah, this episode looked really good, especially towards the end. Now, when it comes to the contents episode, they're more so nitpicks than anything. So, first up is Dragonite versus Rillaboom. Wasn't really a big fan here. I get that Leon was obviously portrayed to be playing things smart here and basically slowing down Dragonite, but man, I wanted Dragonite to do a little bit more here and not just completely job. Like, at least land a hit or 2 on Rillaboom, or at least do something so that it sets up Sirfetch'd and Dracovish. But unfortunately, that's not what we got. I get it, it got a W in the previous episode, but I would have liked to see it at least last a little bit longer against Rillaboom. And then my other nitpick is Eternatus. I get what they're trying to do here. Eternatus is reformed, so it's basically breaking out so it can save the day, because Leon and Ash are breaking the dimensions out here, and they're potentially going to cause a lot of damage, so Eternatus is showing up to basically save the day and show that, hey guys, I'm actually good now. And on one hand, that's nice. I guess Eternatus is being utilized for this purpose alone. I guess that's why Eternatus was brought back in the first place. But at the same time, it kind of breaks the flow of this battle. This is a climactic ending for this battle. Obviously, it's not finishing until next week, but this is a huge moment within this battle. And then Eternatus shows up and it kind of breaks the flow. So, not the worst thing, but it kind of just feels like it kind of feels like something that was obviously going to happen or something like that. When they brought back Eternatus, I knew that Eternatus was going to be here for a reason, and this is the reason. So, yeah, not the biggest deal in the world. It just kind of just breaks the flow of this battle a little bit, in my opinion at least. But anyways, guys, that's really all I got for this episode review. So it's a pretty solid episode overall. I've been trying to figure out if I'm going to give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. It's basically in that range. Like I said, I don't think it's as good as the 3rd episode in Ash vs. Kukui, which I gave a 10 out of 10, because it was an absolute 10 out of 10 episode. But this is pretty close. It's still a pretty solid episode overall. The battle's been solid so far. Just that interruption with Eternatus at the end was the only thing that bugged me. So we'll see how this episode finishes off. Or, I mean, this battle finishes off, excuse me. with next week, and we'll see what happens, because there's a lot of tension going into next week with Ash having only one Pokemon left, Leon having 2, including his ace. So yeah, there's a lot of stakes at place here, so we'll see what happens. So in the comment section down below, post your thoughts. What do you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think of this battle so far? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Guys, have a good day or night, Rivet, and I'll see you all later. Bye.